Welcome back, Star Beings. Welcome to Spiritual Ascension. It's a great time to be alive. So here on this channel, we honor the soul, serve our life's purpose, and as always, raise our vibration. So today I want to talk about being an empath and some things that you can, some signs of an empath, and then some things that you can do to help protect you if you are an empath, right? So first and foremost, what is an empath? Well, if you ask 10 different people, you'll get similar answers, right? Because there's empathic people. We have so many, and I am one, by the way. We have so many different things that happen to us, right? So an empathic person is somebody who can feel energy. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. You can feel energies. So, for example, to know if you're empathic, and these are just some of many different things that you can connect to, but if you're empathic, you can walk into a room and feel the energy there. When you're having a conversation with a stranger, you can feel that energy from that person. If they're carrying any negativity, you'll feel that negative. If they're really happy, you'll feel that happiness come from them. Myself, I've sat in restaurants where I can feel the people next to me, their energy maybe isn't that great. And I've had to even get up and ask to move to a different table, or I just get up and leave earlier than anticipated because the energy's around me. Do you take on other people's emotions? Like if somebody else is sad, do you also feel sad when you're next to that person? If another person is happy, do you take on that emotion as well and feel happy? That's being empathic. Do people come to you for advice, and do people come to you for answers and for help? If so, it's because you're empathic. And it also could be in past lifetimes, you've also been a healer in past lifetimes as well. Most empaths have been healers in past lives. Do you feel this overwhelming sensation of love for humanity, for animals, and all life forces? If so, you could be an empath. But the easiest way to really tell if you're an empath is just pay attention to what you're feeling, right? So, example. If you're not sure, maybe some of these things resonated with you, some examples I gave, and by the way, there's so many more examples, but if some of them resonated with you, and you're still unsure, one of the best things to do is the next time you go to maybe someone's birthday party, or maybe a special event at work, or whatever, like just when you're gonna walk into a room with, I would say 6 people or more, okay? And I don't mean necessarily your own family, because you're around that energy all the time. I'm talking like somebody's house that you haven't been before. So like a kid's birthday, an adult birthday party, a work event that's like outside somewhere where you're around different people you're normally not around. And what you want to do is ground yourself before you walk in there. So you're centering your energy. So you walk in with a grounded energy. And when you walk in that door, after a few minutes talking to certain people, if you feel your energy going to more positive over here, happiness over here, you can feel like this part of the house doesn't feel comfortable, this part of the house feels a lot more comfortable. That means you're very empathic, right? And so to ground yourself, all you're really doing, there's different techniques. My favorite technique is just closing my eyes, placing my feet straight on the ground, barefooted, preferably barefooted if possible, and keeping your feet on the ground, and then just taking in a deep breath, and imagine you pulling up energy from the earth into your body, and then you release it. And you're pulling up energy after each breath, and you're releasing it. And so you can do this all the way up from you can take your first breath and imagine your toes or the bottom of your feet per se, and then every time you take a deep breath in, that energy comes up to the top of your head and out, okay? That's one way. Another way that's very popular is you can actually break down parts of your body. So you can start from your foot up into your knee, right? So to your first breath, you're pulling energy from the earth up into your knee, you breathe it back out. The next breath, you're pulling energy now up to your thigh, you breathe it back out. You pull it back up to right here in your waist, you throw it back out. Your next breath, your fourth breath, you bring it back up to here, release. Then the last breath, this was like a 5 breath process, all the way up to your crown chakra, and then release it back to the earth. Once you do this, it only takes a couple minutes. You are completely grounded and centered. And now you don't have any interference of energies until you walk into a place that has different people there, because people carry energy. Everything around us is energy. So this is just a nice way to test if you're empathic. So you have to ground yourself first, walk into a place that you normally don't go into, maybe a new place with people, and just see how, you don't have to be at a party, it could be a museum. You could go anywhere really. For me, and I'm going to give you some signs I'm 100% empathic, but let me give you some of the things that I struggle with, right? In my personal life, I struggle with movie theaters. I struggle with movie theaters because so many people are in a movie theater and I feel people's energies and it's just overwhelming sometimes. It brings on anxiety. When I go to parties, I always want to make sure I have an exit plan. I'm being serious. Like even work functions, I want to have an exit plan. So before I go, because I know I'm empathic and I know depending on the energy there, I might want to leave. So what does that mean? I'm probably going to go to the party by myself, meaning I'm going to meet other people there. I'm going to meet friends or whatever the party's about, right? Or events. I'm going to meet people that I know there, but I'm going to make sure I drive alone. Why? So I can leave when I feel uncomfortable, right? And that's something that I've done as an empath, is like, I like to drive places alone. Not like, hey, can you come pick me up? Because now you're relying on somebody else to take you home or take you out of the situation. And it's very hard to explain to somebody that doesn't understand what an empath is, or somebody who's just isn't empathic, to, hey, I don't feel comfortable anymore in this situation. Can we leave? They're like, no, come on, stay, have a few drinks. Doesn't work. Not for an empath, right? But being empathic too, a lot of people have come to me my whole life. A lot of people have come to me and asked me for advice, told me their problems, and they say, oh my God, I feel so better after speaking to you. Well, yeah, because you're an empath, so you're absorbing that energy from them, right? So if you're going through if you're going through a breakup and you're sad and you want to talk to me about it in person, as you're talking to me in person, you're going to start feeling better about it because my body absorbs that energy, right? So you might feel better, but as an empath, I'm feeling your anxiety, I'm feeling your sadness. So I'm absorbing this, and because I'm absorbing it as an empath, because that's what we do, right? We absorb, now that person feels better, right? But that's not always necessarily great for us, right? So some things to protect ourselves as empaths is you want to carry around a black tourmaline stone or a black obsidian stone on you at all times. This just helps keep out some of that negative energy. You want to ask your guides, once you figure out if you're an empath, you want to ask your guides to put up a barrier around you and only allow people that have positive energy into your life. And so some people that might want to talk to you about things that are really heavy and deep, like really depressing things. I'm not saying that I don't want to help those type of people, but I ask guides to protect myself so I don't get a lot of that in my life. I might get some of it, but I want it limited, right? I want it limited to the amount that my personal self has to experience that, because unfortunately as an empath, we absorb that. And so if you feel always drained, and if you go to work every day, and it's not because you're physically doing a lot of work, it's not because you're doing mentally a lot of work, it's just the people you're around are draining you, it's because you're an empath. And so you need to go home and ground yourself. Matter of fact, carry a stone with you, a black tourmaline, a black obsidian. Something I recommend as well is definitely carry like a rose quartz or an amethyst. But there's other stones you can get as well, and for protections and to block other people from coming in. I love using clear quartz as well to help with that. So there's different stones out there. I am doing videos on stones. I've already made one. You can check the playlist. I got more coming. But being an empathic person can be a difficult thing to get through, but you have your guides that can put up barriers. You can ask your gatekeeper. We all have a gatekeeper. A gatekeeper is somebody, just like it sounds, it stops all energies at the gates. As long as you ask your gatekeeper, and all you have to do is say, gatekeeper, can you please block all negative energies that are coming towards me today? The gatekeeper's going to do that for you, right? They're going to help limit what comes in, right? You ask your guides, can you please help limit the negative energy that can come into my aura space today, my auric space today? Okay, you can ask your guardian angel, you can ask angels, any of the archangels, you can ask them for help too. The more that you're asking the universe to help, God source energy, can you please help protect me? My higher self, can you please help me block these energies that are coming towards me and have me have more of a harmonious and balanced day? And so they will definitely help if you ask for help, but you can also carry stones and do certain things to make sure you're protecting yourself. Also, at the end of the day, with the stones, with the help, you can always make sure that you limit the amount of exposure that you are. So for example, like I limit my exposure to movie theaters. I don't go to the movies anymore because of that type of feeling. So I'm limiting my exposure to movie theaters because I know what that does to me, right? So not only can you ask for help and use different stones to help you, and ground yourself will make you will help you as well, but just limit the exposure you are. So maybe you're going to go to a few less parties, maybe you're going to do a few less events, go do a few less things, but whatever you feel is going to help you keep that energy instead of absorbing it, I would definitely suggest doing that. That's something that I highly recommend. So thank you for watching. Have an energetic day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.